4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, this is Rainbow X Pictures here, and a couple of you guys have been wondering what I've been doing recently on my videos other than making diecast review videos. Well, just to let you know that those videos are still happening on my channel along with diecast shorts reviews. I've also been doing something else called qualifiers, and most of you don't know, or at least most of you who have just subscribed to my channel know what qualifiers are, and you're probably wondering, what the heck are you talking about? You've never told us you made a diecast series. Well, other than making review videos and short videos, I'm also working on making diecast racing, or sign-up series if you will. What I'm going to do today is just to give you a little explanation of the rules and the guide to Monster Jam New Generation, so bear with me y'all. With that being said, we're going to begin the discussion. So first things first, we're going to discuss something called the qualifier rules. And I displayed these rules at the very beginning of Series Red, Round 1. But since not many people have seen Series Red or have a underperforming score, or should I say a view count for Series Red, I thought I would explain it again here in this video. So for qualifier rules, each round will be played in a tournament bracket. Each position equals a certain number of points earned from performance. So what this means is basically each round of qualifiers there's going to be a tournament bracket, and for every tournament bracket that depends on the performance of the trucks that are in that specific series. For this next rule, if a truck crashes outside of the track, they will receive a DNF and the opponent will earn an automatic pass to the next round. What this means is basically if a truck either lands outside of the track or does not finish the track, then they will receive a DNF, and the opposing truck either still on the track or farther from the opposing truck that has not finished the track, they will earn an automatic pass to the next round. And here, right below that, are the point system for each round. So for round 1, a losing truck, or if you lose in round 1, you will earn 3 points. If you lose in the round of 16, you will only earn 5 points. In the quarterfinals, you will only earn 7 points. The semifinals, if you lose in the semifinals, you will earn 10 points. The runner-up will earn 12 points, and the winner will earn 15 points. Those rules will stay the same for every round of qualifying from Series Red all the way through Series Cyan. And speaking of every single series group, that is coming up next. For this next slide, this is called Promotion and Relegation. Promotion and relegation, you may have seen this kind of system adapt to the world of sports, specifically in football, or if you're in American soccer. Promotion and relegation may sound familiar for some, if not all. It is a system used in the sports world, mainly soccer, as I stated, and it is being brought into the channel. What this means is basically that system will be adapted to Monster Jam New Generation and will make things even more exciting. In most groups, trucks who within at the top 4 from Series Blue to Series Cyan will gain promotion into the next group ahead of them. Series Red is the only group with no promotion zone because it is the highest ranked group. What this means is that Series Red is basically the highest tier group, and with no promotion, it's just basically a spot for the World Finals. Right here below that rule is a little area of ranking for each color representing their rank. So those trucks who finish in the top 4 from Series Cyan will be promoted to Series Purple, the top 4 from Series Purple will move on to Series Orange, and so on. While there's promotion, there's also relegation. After the end of qualifiers, trucks who finish at the bottom 4, aka the relegation zone, will be relegated from their current group and be part of a new one next season. Series Cyan does not have a relegation zone because it is the lowest ranked group of qualifiers. Right here on below is a ranking of each of the colors and their respective relegation zone rank. The bottom 4 trucks from Series Red will be relegated to Series Blue, those bottom 4 trucks from Series Blue will be relegated to Series Yellow, and so on. This system is there to match every truck's level of play depending on their performance from previous seasons. It is there to better their chances of qualifying, which will correspond to their level and performance. So promotion and relegation is not really necessarily a bad thing. However, you do not want to land on the relegation zone, otherwise you will be ranked lower than what you used to be in the previous season. But promotion and relegation is there to help you, so that way those trucks who are in the relegation zone and are in a different group will have a better chance of qualifying due to their respective ranking and performance from each season. With that said, let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is called playoffs. Unlike most competitions, the playoffs work differently like most competitions. Instead, the playoffs have 3 rounds. Only 11 placed and 6th place trucks will have an opportunity to compete. So for the 11th place trucks, those groups include the groups from Series Yellow all the way to Series Cyan. Those from 6th place will be Series Red and Series Blue. Just to even things out and make sure we have everything in order. The first round. In round 1, it consists of a one-legged match between Series Cyan and Series Purple. The winner of the match will advance to round 2. The second round. In round 2, there are 3 matches going on at the same time. 3 trucks who win their races will advance to the final round of the playoffs. The final round. The final round consists of 3 trucks who won their playoff matches. All 3 trucks race each other, and the first one to win 3 times will qualify to the World Finals. The truck who fails to qualify from the playoffs will automatically qualify for the Double Down Showdown, otherwise known as the LCQ. This slide is called the New Truck Rule. This rule is exclusive only for those who are introduced into the new season. Any new truck that I get based on the Spin Master diecast line will have to start from the bottom and work their way upwards towards the top. During the regular season, newer trucks who are still waiting for their moment to compete will have an opportunity to show their skills in the Steel Titan Cup. This will test their skills in a future season when they officially compete next season. What does this mean for most of you? Well, any new truck that I get from Spin Master or that I customize, which I forgot to mention, those trucks who are waiting for their moment to strike for the next season will have an opportunity to test their skills in the Steel Titan Cup, just to familiarize themselves on the track. Speaking of the Steel Titan Cup, the Steel Titan Cup is the largest tournament in Monster Jam New Generation where every single truck in the roster all compete against each other for the prize. Each round of the Steel Titan Cup occurs after each qualifying round. Of what the last part means for most of you is that recently I made a video of Series Cyan Round 1, and that was the official last group of Round 1. Which means that after each individual round of qualifying, we head on over to the Steel Titan Cup where it is divided by 7 parts. Speaking of the Steel Titan Cup, that is actually the next video that we'll be doing right after this rules and guide video. Every truck will be randomly paired with another truck. Once they've been selected, they will face each other in a tournament bracket style. Once a truck defeats their opponent, they will face their next opponent in the second round, and so on. If a truck loses no matter where they are in the tournament, they are officially out of the competition. Everyone has one chance to make it through. As the next few rounds commence, they will follow the same procedure over and over again, until there are 2 trucks left in the cup. The final round will have one singular race, and once a truck wins the final, they will be crowned the champion and earn the title Steel King or Queen. This also opens the spot for the Super Cup. You'll be hearing Super Cup most of the time, but that will come up to the very last slide of our rules and guide video. This next slide is called the 5th Cross Cup. The 5th Cross Cup is a competition where 8 Feld, 8 Independent, 8 Fantasy, made by Spin Master, and 8 crossover/sponsor, DC, Marvel, and etc. trucks compete all together to battle for the prize. Before the competition, all trucks that fall in the listed categories will be drawn randomly, and only 8 of each will earn a spot. One by one, spots are filled by that said category. Once a category is filled, no other trucks from the same category cannot be registered. If this happens, then the wheel will roll again and pick a different truck. What this means is that I have 4 wheels of each category, and I pick 8 random trucks from those wheels, and whichever one it lands on will go on to qualify for the 5th Cross Cup. In the event where all spots are filled, I cannot pick that specific truck to advance onto the 5th Cross Cup. Instead, it is picked by a different truck from a different category. After all the spots are filled, The trucks will be randomly shuffled into 8 groups of 4. They will have 3 rounds in the group stage, and only the top 2 will qualify into the next round. Then it's a knockout competition until only 2 remain. After the final, a champion will be crowned and earn a spot in the Super Cup. For our next slide, we have the Stadium Series Champions League. The Stadium Series Champions League is a competition designed for the winners of the regular season qualifying based on their colored groups. More colors may vary depending on how many trucks are added for the World Finals qualifiers. Only the first place trucks from their stadium groups compete in 10 rounds of the Champions League. There are no group stages or tournament bracket styles. The truck with the most points in the league will win and earn a spot for the Super Cup. This next slide is just pretty much simple because this kind of tournament technically already exists in the real Monster Jam world and real life tournaments, and recently the World Finals, but the Double Down Showdown works the same way as it is in real life. Only 12 trucks from their qualifying groups are picked depending on their win contribution and points. This also serves as a second chance for competitors to earn their spot into the main stage. It will be in a tournament bracket style, and the winner of the showdown will not only earn a spot for the Super Cup, but also in the World Finals. This next slide is called the Triple Threat. The Triple Threat also works just like Double Down Showdown, except this competition has a different concept. Instead of 12 trucks, there are 9 in the tournament. 9 trucks who did not qualify for the showdown will have another chance to compete in the Triple Threat as an alternative. There are 3 matches in the first round, which are the best out of 3 rounds, and the first 2 wins will advance to the final. Once there are 3 trucks left in the final round, the first one to win 3 times will win the Triple Threat. This also earns them a spot for the World Finals and in the Super Cup. This interesting and fun little slide that you're seeing here is called Fast and Famous. This tournament is an exclusive competition for trucks who represent a movie or television show, hence it's named Fast and Famous. This is also the smallest tournament in Monster Jam New Generation. Why it is considered the smallest tournament in the competition? Well, I'll explain that later. But first, I'll explain this part of the rule here. Trucks who missed their chance in the previous competitions listed above, and those who represent a movie/TV show, they will compete in the Fast and Famous. However, the concept is different since some, if not most trucks, are in separate tournaments fighting for the prize, also hinting why this competition is short. And here is the part that gets interesting. The number of spots range from 4 to 8 competitors depending on how many trucks who represent a movie/television show remain. If there are 4 trucks, it is a round-robin group stage, and the first truck to earn more points will earn a spot in the World Finals and qualify for the Super Cup. If there are 8 trucks, it will be decided in a tournament bracket consisting a quarterfinal, semifinal, and of course a final, which will determine the champion. The rules tend to change, like I said previously, and I mentioned this before. If there are 4 trucks who are in the Fast and Famous, then it is a group stage, where there are 3 rounds, and the truck with the most points will win Fast and Famous and qualify directly to the World Finals. However, if there are 8 trucks, all competing in Fast and Famous, then it'll be settled in a tournament bracket. Now we've come to talk about the World Finals for Monster Jam New Generation. The World Finals marks the end of the season here in Monster Jam New Generation. Once all the best performing trucks from each stadium series complete their qualifying rounds, they will make their way into the final stage of the tournament. Back then, the number of spots were limited as they used to range from 16, 24, 32, 48, and now 64. Yes, 64. It's a lot for the real World Finals event, but this is a diecast channel, so the possibilities are endless. Back in 2019, when Spin Master and Monster Jam decided to partner up to make their diecast line, I used to have about 8 trucks in total. However, most of them came from Spin Master. And those trucks, I would have them compete against the other monster trucks that I had in the past. And there weren't that many, but eventually I would make World Finals tournaments. And I had different winners over the years. Now, the number of World Finals competitors increases and increases until we have 64 competitors, which is the current estimate for any, or at least my, diecast channel. This also means that I am the only channel, or at least diecast channel, to have a large number of World Finals competitors compete all together. Moving on, each qualifier group consists of several trucks in each group. Only a certain number of trucks from each group get their chance to compete in the finals. What this means is that there will be a group stage round. I didn't mention this in the rules, but I will explain it here. There will be a total of 5 parts for the World Finals. 4 parts from the group stage, and the last part will be something that I like to call the Final 32, which marks the final 32 trucks who have survived their group stages and will have to face each other in the tournament bracket to indicate the World Finals champion. A little fact about the World Finals and earlier World Finals that I did back in 2019 all the way from 2021. This channel will have rotational World Finals venues from not only in the US, but in several countries around the world. However, I don't actually go to these cities, so we're just basically pretending that we have brought the World Finals into several countries around the world, as it is called the World Finals for a reason. And as we move on to the final rule of the World Finals right below, after separate tournaments and qualifiers are complete, all 64 trucks will be paired into 16 groups of 4. The top 2 trucks from each group will advance into the knockout stage, where the final 32 will take place. Once every truck is paired up, the knockouts commence, and once you lose, you're out. It continues until only one remains, and they will be crowned world champion. I also forgot to put this in the rules, but the winner of the World Finals will also qualify for the Super Cup. And speaking of the Super Cup, that comes next. And now we've come across a tournament that most of you have been wondering for a long time, ever since the very beginning of this video. The Monster Jam Super Cup is a special tournament where every winner of all existing tournaments of the season compete against each other to win the Super Cup. The champions of the following tournaments are allowed: Monster Jam World Finals, Stadium Series Champions League, 5th Cross Cup, the Steel Titan Cup, Double Down Showdown, Triple Threat, Fast and Famous, and the Super Cup title defender, aka the previous Super Cup champion. If you guys haven't seen the Super Cup video that I made months ago as a test tournament to basically extend content other than making diecast review videos, as much people have known me for. But the Super Cup was the very first diecast racing related video that I've made. It was basically a test video to extend my content on this channel. And back then I explained the rules in that video, but for those who are confused of what it is, I'll explain it here better. Like I explained earlier, the Super Cup is basically a tournament of champions where every single champion from the tournaments that are listed on your screen all compete together in 2 separate group stages. The top 2 trucks from each group will then move on to the next round, where they will face each other in the semi-final, and there will be a 3rd place match and of course the final. The final will then be decided by a best out of 3, basically 5 rounds, and the first truck to win 3 times will earn themselves the ultimate champion and will qualify into next season's Super Cup as the defending champion. With these rules that I explained here from each tournament and how they work in New Generation, I think you pretty much got the idea of how everything works around New Generation and what they are used for. And that will conclude the rules and guide video for Monster Jam New Generation. Now, I try to explain these rules a little bit easier for you guys to understand, so that way you'll know how the system works here on the channel, and how each tournament works and how they will play out for the remainder of the season and of course future seasons ahead of them. Well, we are going to conclude this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Rainbow X, and I will see you on the flip side.